All right, welcome back. Day 2 of ramps. Take 2. All right, take 3. Yesterday we made a ramp compound butter. It was very tasty. It was basically just ramps, salt, pepper, and a pound of unsalted butter that we put through a KitchenAid mixer with a paddle attachment. We used the whole ramp, the leaves, and the sort of bulb portion here. So I was thinking about some other ways that we could utilize the entire plant because they are such a short, in such a short season. And they're just kind of lovely, and you don't really want anything to go to waste. And thinking about how we can kind of have these longer than their season, I was thinking about pickling them. And you typically pickle the bottom. So I have some canning jars. We're not going to can them, we're just going to pickle them. For the pickling, I kind of did a pantry raid and pulled out some essential things that you need for pickling, which is a vinegar. This is white wine. I have some water here. This is kosher salt. I found some arbol chilies that I had. They're pretty old, but I think they'll be fine. Let's see, coriander, fennel, yellow and brown mustard seeds, thyme, bay. Did I say fennel? Fennel, black peppercorns. Because when you create a pickling brine, you want to probably shoot for at least a 2% salinity for salt, so that's by weight. So you're going to see me do some math in real time. We'll see how that goes. Might have to use a calculator. But we'll weigh our liquid and then determine how much salt we need. But I actually like the salt. It's not that important. It really isn't. It's kind of important. It's pseudo important. I do want to actually kind of gauge. I'm going to make almost like a ramp template, because since these are such small jars, I want them to not exceed this lip in the jar, because I want to make sure that they're totally submerged when we're doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of get an idea of where we're going to cut that. And that seems about right, and I'll use that for the majority of the rest. We'll put those in this bowl, and we'll move through it.
Should you move the cups in front?
No. I don't know if you can see this, but we can move this out of the way, I guess. I did talk about this yesterday, but the importance of having, a knife that feels good in your hand. I don't ever recommend buying your first knife online. I would highly recommend going to a place that specializes at least in kitchen and cookware, if not a knife specialty shop. I know some people can't get to those, but you should really talk to somebody knowledgeable. You should test the knife out. Any legitimate place will let you cut through some celery or carrots. So you want to make sure it just feels really comfortable in your hand. The reason why I chose this one is I hold the knife kind of high up here, and a lot of knives are like right around here on the collar. I don't actually know the technical term. They don't have a rolled edge. And when I'm cutting through a lot of stuff, I end up getting like a blister and a callus on my middle finger, and it just kind of sucks. So, but we can talk about knives later. Okay, that looks like we got everything. I'm going to set these leaves aside. Like I said, we're going to use them later for a different dish. So what I like to do, first, just want to make sure that they're fairly clean. My towel. Damn it. Kitchen towel. Kitchen towel's on hand. I like to salt this actually before I put them in the jars and I brine them or pickle them. Okay. So just gonna take some kosher salt, kind of mix that around, and let those chill out. So what I did was, like I said, I measured the water volume, at least in cups, and I know that this is 2/3 of a cup. So times 4 is 3 cups of liquid. I have basically 2 cups of white vinegar and 1 cup of water. You can go totally all vinegar. A lot of recipes are half and half. I just like more vinegary type things. So I always kind of go 2/3 or 3/4 vinegar to a water solution. Like I said, we're gonna have to do like a 2% ratio of salt to that liquid. So we should weigh that. And then we should try and do math. All right. So these are a quart. I'm guessing this is gonna be close to a quart, but and we're going to have a little bit excess. I did overshoot it just a little bit, so I wasn't going to come up short after I cooked it. Let's go grams. All right, plus the water. 765 grams. So I'm going to go 3% because I like vinegar and salt. So what's 3% of 765?
22.95.
Thought I could maybe come up with that on my head, but somebody shouted out in the back instead of showing me their calculator. That's okay. We're in this together. So
0.95.
23 grams. $23?
Yep.
Overshot that a bit. 25. 23, perfect. So this is the amount of salt. It looks like a lot. Looks like a lot, but don't fret. And then we're just gonna kind of throw stuff in as we feel it necessary. So this is an induction burner that I got just for this show. No idea how this works, but we're going to put in our liquid. I'm going to turn this on. All right, don't know what that's doing. I'm going to turn the... So what's kind of cool about an induction burner is that this surface is not going to get hot to touch. It's actually going to create a reaction in the metal in the pan. So actually only the liquid currently in the pan. And I'm going to turn, actually I'm just going to, there's a boil button, so I'll hit boil. And we're just going to bring this up to a simmer. It's going to happen very fast, like really, really fast, which is cool. And what's amazing is this was actually really inexpensive. So all this like really, this type of cookware that was only accessible for like industrial restaurants and chefs, you can have in your home. It's like the golden age for home cooking, really. So I'm going to open these up. I want at least one of these chilies per, but maybe I'll throw a few in. Why not? Do a couple cracks of pepper, maybe a few peppercorns. We're cooking. We're not measuring. We're cooking. I want at least one. I only had dried. You know, these are tough times. I want at least one. Actually, I probably could have just put those in the jar. That would have been easier, but it's okay. We'll make it work. I don't know, whole fennel. You can put a pinch of that in. This is already starting to percolate. Bay leaves, whole fennel. I have a little bit of yellow and brown mustard already mixed in this jar, just because it was kind of like the overflow. Mustard's great in a pickle. I'm gonna go kind of heavy with that. Some people put sugar in their Maybe we can add a pinch of sugar, I don't know. This is coriander, just eyeballing it. And do I want to put thyme in there? I'll put thyme in, why not? Pinch of thyme. There we go. We're gonna let that sort of steep for a minute. We just want the salt to kind of dissolve. And while that does its thing, we're gonna fill these jars with ramps. And I don't know if this might not even yield 4 of these. Actually, no, that's good. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we're gonna get 3. That's okay. 3's fine. 3's fine. All right, so this is starting to simmer, which was amazing because if we think about, we'd still be waiting for something to boil right now if this was on a conventional type burner, electric or gas. So that's amazing. I wonder how that tastes. I don't want to put my hand in there. All right, this is actually coming up to a rolling boil. Woo! Woo! Jeez! Woo! Woo! Jeez! I'm going to shut that off. That smells actually really good. It's kind of like mace. Jesus. And now, I'm just going to use one of these takeout containers. These things are like the best thing you can have in your house. One, because they come in full pint, half pint, or quarter pint sizes. If you have people over and you cook and you want to send them home, they're super cheap. You don't have to get them back. So what I'm going to do is start to just use this. They stand up to high heat too, which is nice. I'm just going to ladle in whatever I get out of it, right up to make sure that they're totally covered. So I have that. I do want to get these chopsticks. I do want to get a bay leaf in each one. So 1 bay leaf. This is very, smells, a lot of smells in here. And then I want to get a chili in each one. Woo! Okay. Pickle ramps. There it is. You can clean off the rims, seal them up. Again, make sure everything is submerged. Anything that's not submerged isn't going to get pickled. I might need a little bit more in that little one. These are hot. Let them come up to temperature, and then just put them in your fridge. Again, these aren't canned, so they're not going to, last. They're not going to last a nuclear war. They are just going to last. They'll last months, a couple months in the fridge. Great. There they are. See you next time. Should I do an outro or? That's fine.